helping the holidays shine brighter for the families of injured police officers. The story behind the Wounded Blue Christmas campaign and how the need has never been greater. Next. The founder of the Wounded Blue, an organization working to improve the lives of injured and disabled law enforcement officers, Randy Sutton, is my guest. Randy, great to see you. Thanks for being here.
Well, thanks for having me, Liz. I appreciate it.
Yeah, tell us about your Wounded Blue Christmas campaign. This is just wonderful what you guys are doing over there. How does this work?
So the Wounded Blue is a national nonprofit that helps injured and disabled officers, whether those injuries are physical or emotional or psychological. And we've helped more than 14,000 law enforcement officers in the last 5 years. Christmas, of course, as you know, is a special time of year. It can also be a very stressful time of year. And very often law enforcement officers who are physically injured in the line of duty, whether that injury is from a combat situation like a shooting or a car wreck, they face financial strain. And so our Christmas campaign is designed to make Christmas happy for law enforcement families that are struggling financially this year. And this is our 4th year of doing this. We've put a lot of smiles on a lot of faces, and we intend to do even more this year, especially because we are including in our campaign here our Guitars for Cops campaign, which is absolutely amazing.
It is amazing. I know we're going to talk a little bit more about that coming up, but explain your organization has already identified some families this year that are going to receive some much needed help. I know you keep them confidential for the most part, but share with us what you can about their stories.
Sure. So this year, we've identified a number of families, but we're still looking for more. So I want folks to know that if they know a law enforcement officer's family that's struggling this year because of injury, or in the case of some of the housing issues from the floods, we want to help and we're still looking for families that we can help. So there's an officer who literally just woke up from a long-term coma after being physically assaulted. He's got 2 beautiful children, and really a terrible set of circumstances. We're very hopeful that he's going to recover in a much greater way. But we're going to make Christmas happy for those children and their family. Another police officer who was struck by a vehicle and is facing terrible medical issues. And here's what happens, Liz. Maybe people don't understand that when a cop gets hurt, they go often right back to their base pay. So they literally take a pay cut when they get injured, and that causes severe financial strain for the family. So that's why it's so important that an organization like the Wounded Blue exists, that we can step in and actually give gift cards worth $500 or more to make Christmas something special. Lots of people have come forward and said, I want to adopt a family. How do I do that? And so we take a family, a minimum of $500, depending on how many children they have, and people can adopt a family and say, I want to help. A $500 donation is fantastic, but of course, many people can't afford that. So we're looking at many other ways that we're raising money, including our Guitars for Cops campaign.
You know, it's not much of a secret how absolutely tragic and traumatic these last 4 years have been in law enforcement, not just here in Minnesota, but all across the country. How much of a need have you seen for your services? And share a little bit more about how the Wounded Blue works to meet those needs.
Oh, it's, I tell you, when my organization no longer needs to exist, that's when I will be happy. That's when I will know that we've been a success. We should not need to exist. But law enforcement officers, when they get injured in the line of duty, very often are literally thrown away by their police departments. They're tragic sets of circumstances, too much for me to recount right here. But believe me when I tell you that many law enforcement officers face very, very severe struggles once they become injured, whether those injuries are physical or emotional and psychological. Is you and I both know that post-traumatic stress injury can be as real as a bullet. And so we deal with a lot of situations helping to get police officers into treatment for their post-traumatic stress. We have tremendous resources, but the real heroes that are part of the Wounded Blue is the peer advocate support team. Peer team is all made up of volunteer police officers, and everybody on the team has been either shot or stabbed or beaten or run over or faced serious post-traumatic stress injuries and come out on the other side. I have officers who've been paralyzed, officers who have been blinded, and yet they continue to serve. It's amazing. We're saving lives, Liz. We're saving careers. We're saving marriages because of the work of the men and women of the Wounded Blue and their desire to give back to their brothers and sisters. They're the ones who I help identify families because they're working with these families. They know the struggles that they're going through. And so having the ability to say, hey, you know what? We're going to make Christmas a little bit better for you because of the generosity of the American people and the people of the Wounded Blue. It's a hell of a feeling.
It has to be. I found this statistic just shocking on your website. 120,000 officers have been intentionally attacked in the line of duty these last 2 years. This is intentionally. These aren't accidents. But I want to go into just a bit more about how to help this Guitars for Cops, which I think is so cool. It's guitars, the number 4cops.com. So guitarsforcops.com. I want to encourage people to see it there right for themselves. What a great idea. Just explain how people can help there and how they will help the cause as a result.
Well, country music stars have really stepped up to the plate. I mean, what they have done is a whole bunch, too many to list right now, but I'll throw a couple names at you that people will recognize. George Strait signed a number of guitars for the Wounded Blue to help us raise money. Mark Chestnut, Tanya Tucker, Lori Morgan, Martina McBride are just a few. There's a whole list. And if you go to guitarsforcops.com, you can see all the country stars that said, I'm standing up for my law enforcement. I'm going to help them raise money. And the Wounded Blue is utilizing these signed guitars to, they're $1,000 a piece. And that money goes to help injured officers. We're going to be using all of the cash that comes in from this particular season to help on our Christmas campaign. So I think it's beautiful that you know we have country music stars supporting our cause, supporting Christmas, and I've met a number of these amazing people, and their commitment to law enforcement is unwavering.
Do you see things changing? Finally, I wanted to ask you, Randy, for law enforcement now, come January with Trump back in the White House, will he make America safer again? It seems that there is a bit of hope out there for a change for our first responders.
I very much believe that we are on the precipice of a sea change. I believe that with the election of Donald Trump, the people have spoken. They said, we've had enough. We want our streets safe. We want this madness that's been permeating and destroying our criminal justice system to end. We want our government to do what they're supposed to do, and that is protect the people. I believe that Donald Trump, I know that he is sincere in this. I've met him personally. I had the great honor of talking about law enforcement at the Republican National Convention.
Donald Trump is the best friend we will ever have. Ladies and gentlemen, we're experiencing a plague of crime across America. The endless tsunami of illegal aliens, no consequences for violent crime, the abuse of our criminal justice system. It's all made America more dangerous than ever before. Police are the thin blue line between criminal predators and their victims.
And I know that he is committed to helping law enforcement and has always been a true friend of the American police officer. So I do believe that we're going to see a big change come January.
And if people want to help the Christmas campaign or perhaps recommend an officer's family who may need the help this season, where should they go?
So for those that want to adopt a family, contact me directly. I'm Randy at thewoundedblue.org. That's Randy at thewoundedblue.org. Go to the website, thewoundedblue.org, see who we are, see what we do, give what you can. And even if it's $10 a month, we live only by donation. And I want people to know this is very important, Liz. People are very distrustful of charities, and for very good reason in many cases. I take no salary. I live on my pension from a police officer, and all of the money that comes in, it goes to our programs. It goes to help people. So that's something that I really wanted to reinforce, because let's face it, we know that especially Christmas time, there's a lot of scams out there, and we're not one of them.
That we know. Randy Sutton, the founder of the Wounded Blue, thank you so much for everything you do, and appreciate you joining me.
Liz, thank you for having me on, and I am a great admirer of your work.
Right back at you. That'll do it for this episode of Liz Collin Reports. We will see you next time.